Shabbat Shalom, my friends. Well, I had an arrangement on August 30th to meet a friend from long ago on the Santa Monica Pier. We had an evening plan. We would talk, we would eat, then we would talk some more. And when it came time to part, my fish and chips and Coke Zero having been carefully and slowly consumed, I walked back to our apartment. Of course, that walking involved my walker, but I'd prefer not to think about that. For the 25 minutes that the walk took, I was amazingly struck by the powerful beauty of the full moon. You see, it wasn't just any full moon. It was a rare phenomenon known as a super blue moon. This is what the astronomers at Google had to say about such a moon. Quote, "This time it will be the year's closest full moon, just 222,043 miles or so away. That is more than 100 miles closer than the August 1st supermoon. Since this is the second full moon in August, it becomes a blue moon, as this is the term to use when we can see the full moon twice in a single month." Learned enough about astronomy? The beach was silent. I passed clusters of people who were sitting on the sand, just absorbing the power of the experience. It wasn't just any full moon, and everyone around me seemed to know it. But most Jews also know that this particular full moon was a banner in the heavens proclaiming that we are just 2 weeks away from Rosh Hashanah. Everything in our liturgy and our prayer services seemed to carry additional hints at this season that we should be deeply involved in cheshbon hanefesh, in sincere introspection. The day of judgment is approaching. To drive that theme home, we hear the shofar all during the month of Elul to shatter our complacency and to reconnect us to what is really important. As I walked, I felt that I was entering the threshold of the gates of forgiveness. I was also thinking through the Sedra for this week, Ki Tavo, Deuteronomy 26:1 and following. Power? This is a Sedra with power. Moses tells the people that when they cross over the Jordan and enter the promised land, they are to set up large stones covered with plaster on 2 hills that face each other. And on those pillars, the essential teachings of the Torah are to be written. And then the Levites, standing in the valley between the 2 hills, should recite a series of blessings and of curses, b'kol ram, in a very loud voice. And after each set of the curses, and after each set of the blessings, the people who had been divided so that half are on one hill and half on the other, facing each other, they had to respond, Amen. What did that mean? What were they doing? Most commentators agree that the Amen was a public declaration that the people accept both the pain and the rewards embodied in those blessings and in those curses. Those Amen were covenantal affirmations. Simple word, but their simplicity belied the significance of the occasion. All it took was Amen. Do you remember the Hasidic story of the young boy who could not read Hebrew? So his parents kept him from attending Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur services so that he would not embarrass them. The rabbi noticed, and in these stories, the rabbi always notices. He brought the boy into the shul to stand next to him. And as the prayers were being recited, the boy pulled out his whistle in services and sounded some notes. The congregants were horrified, but the rabbi waved them into silence. That whistle was the boy's heartfelt amen, the boy's acceptance of his role, and as such, it was a sacred response acceptable to God. Dr. Samuel Liebens of the University of London once wrote, quote, "For many Jews, the experience of staring blankly upon a prayer book written in an ancient and unfamiliar language is daunting. But if you can say nothing else, you can still say Amen. You can know that in doing so, you have really said it all," close quote. Interesting. You have really said it all. So your Amen is a pledge of commitment. Your Amen is an acceptance of the consequences of your identity as Jews. And that Amen is a public expression of your yearning to live up to the blessings and to avoid the curses that exist in this week's Sedra. And that is why there is a statement in the Midrash that claims that in the presence of the Holy One of Blessing, the Kadosh Baruch Hu, nothing is greater than a Jew who says Amen. Amen carries with it an oath of acceptance and of confirmation that we will do everything that is within our power to affirm what Torah is teaching. And that's why one of our teachers insisted that just saying Amen is meaningless if we say Amen in a rote kind of a fashion. Did you know, here comes a series, did you know that when someone else is reciting a blessing, for example, they're saying hamotzi over bread or kiddush over wine, and you're not going to be eating or drinking right then, but you say Amen to their blessing, you are actually fully participating in the mitzvah. And did you know that you are forbidden to say Amen? No, you don't say Amen to your own blessing, because what must follow after a blessing must be a carrying out of the deed. Bless, eat, drink, whatever, then you can talk. That is why when observant Jews are preparing for the Shabbat meal, they bless as they wash their hands, and they do not speak until Hamotzi is recited, and they take a bit of challah. And did you know that sometimes the prayer book, the Siddur, for example, during Kaddish, signals to everyone time to say Amen. How do they do that? When the prayer leader calls out, Ve'imaru Amen. We're to call out Amen. And did you know that the three-letter root for the Hebrew word Amen is derived from a word that means I believe, like emunah. Amen. I believe. That's what we're saying. I believe that I am a full participant in the blessings that are being recited, even though I don't understand them all. And did you know, this is a weird one, that after Michamocha, when we close with we're going to go El Yisrael or Gal Yisrael, depending on the text, we are not to say Amen before starting the Amida, the silent devotion. My friends, the gates of heaven will soon be opening wide for us. Our tradition insists that the proper recitation of Amen is a key to the gates of heaven. So we have to use Amen wisely. I finished my walk. The beach was as bright as noonday. And to that super blue moon, so close that I could feel like I could almost touch it. To that super blue moon, I could only say, Amen, v'amen. Shabbat Shalom. See you next week.